Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode here of Cookies Enabled. And this week we are looking into Goodwill and how they have joined the online world of auction sites, as well as book and movie stores and other merchandise, all for sale online. That not only helps the community around you, but you can find some really good deals too. So stick around and let's learn something new together. Okay, Goodwill Industries actually began in 1919 and is now well over 100 years old, which is congratulations. It began as a way to help the unemployed and the homeless find a way to gain trade skills so that way they could get employment as well as housing and just become a part of their local society again. And this idea not only worked, but it actually spread like wildfire across the country. So now you may know Goodwill as the blue and white labeled thrift store that's just right down the street. Maybe you've donated stuff to the store, or maybe even purchased some shoes or clothes or games from Goodwill in the past. And that isn't totally new, but what about buying it from the internet and from Goodwill at the same time? That's kind of new, and well, that's pretty much what's going on here with Goodwill. Now, Goodwill's always really been behind the eight ball when it came to the internet, and this is really because of their roots were always in the community and not so much the World Wide Web. But back in 2022, Goodwill added a few new domains to its website that really expanded its portfolio and will definitely catch the attention of some bigger names just like eBay. So let's break down these few websites and compare them to the competitors and see how well they hold up and how good that PlayStation 2 is in the background that I got from Goodwill. So the first auction site that we're going to talk about is the biggest eBay competitor, and that is called shopgoodwill.com. Now, each Goodwill store can post their items that have been tested, or in some cases, not tested, and then users like me jump online and create a user profile, which is totally free to do. Now, once you find your item and you start your top bid or how much you want to spend on that item, maybe it's 50 bucks, you can place that as your highest bid and let the computer do the bidding for you, just like eBay. Now, most bids are $1 incrementation, but some of them are less, and it can only be maybe a penny per bid, which is actually kind of interesting. So you do have options based on what is available for sale. Now, all proceeds from the online sales go back to the original store that they got that item for, thus helping that particular community, and it's not just siphoning up all of the sales from those items to run the database. That's a whole different kit and caboodle. So now I personally did try both eBay and shopgoodwill.com auction sites, and I will give you a breakdown of how well I landed the PlayStation 2 for around $80, and it came with quite a few things too. So I'll explain all that later in the episode, so stick right around. Okay, hang on to your britches because we're about to explain the second Goodwill website, which is known as goodwillfinds.com. Now, this is similar to Shop Goodwill, but what's different here is that there is no auctioning. In fact, you are only there to purchase what items are listed, and they have some pretty interesting options there too. Now, you select a category or you can search for an item, and then once you find your item and at a decent price, you'll add it to your bag and pick a shipping option, and voila, after you add your payment, obviously, it all gets shipped to your door and you've got your new items, or used, I should say. Now, I've also used this site and I was actually really happy with my purchases, which came in good quality for being used, and I may order more in the future. If you'd like to see my review, please leave a message in the comments below and let me know if you guys want me to do a review on what I received from Goodwill and the different sites. The last thing I wanted to say about goodwillfinds.com is that it did have a wider selection of bigger, higher end name brands, I did seem to notice, rather than the shop Goodwill didn't really seem to have that option as much. But removing the auction side of things, the prices did go up quite a bit, so you are sacrificing price for the auction and just having that timetable there, so keep that in mind. So the last Goodwill site is called goodwillbooks.com, and just like goodwillfinds.com, this one is primarily focused on books, movies, and music, and that's pretty much it. You won't find like sweaters and shoes and stuff there. There's also no need to bid on any of the items since they're just set at a stock price, and that is pretty low considering the Goodwill Finds is a little bit higher end prices. This is definitely going to be on the lower side depending on what item you're looking for. Now again, you can select from categories or search for items if you'd want to, but the Shop Goodwill site is really just a giant way for you to expand a library of either books or music, games, CDs, Blu-rays, DVDs. They've got it all, including video games as well, which is one reason why I'm bringing it up. They had a great selection of PlayStation 2, Wii games, and the list goes on and on. Pretty much any system, including some of the newer ones. So definitely take a look there. Overall, it's definitely worth looking into, and I strongly suggest you guys take a look. If you're looking to expand your library of video games, music, movies, or books, take a look at goodwillbooks.com. Okay, now like I stated before, I have ordered from eBay as well as all of these different Goodwill sites in the past, and let me tell you, whenever I ordered anything from eBay, it was always a struggle. Getting past all the advertisements and random banners and things, and they have cleaned it up a lot in the past, but using Goodwill was extremely refreshing because it was so crisp and clean, and you knew exactly what you were clicking on and getting in the end. You weren't kind of guessing your way through. You didn't have too many options or not enough options either, so they really balanced it out pretty well, especially compared to eBay and the biggest competitor of auction sites out there. It definitely holds up pretty well. Now, I picked up the original PlayStation 2 you see in the background there. It really does work, which is the original fat PlayStation 2, and that came with two actual controllers, two memory cards, one media remote, and one game, and I got that all plus the shipping for about $85. That is a really good deal. I couldn't even find something on the Facebook marketplace around that range for a PlayStation 2 in working condition in my area, so it wasn't so bad. And this actually did show up 2 days early once I made my payments and went through all the shipping options and stuff, which there was just your standard express standard shipping or delayed shipping, obviously, like the cheapest option. I just went with standard, and I still received it early, and it was in a nice box. Everything was bubble wrapped up really good. It wasn't loose and shaking around in there. Now, I did have obviously a lot of wear and tear on the controllers, and one of the buttons, the start button particularly on the second controller, does not work at all. So like I said, I did have to clean the console quite a bit. I just sprayed it down with a little bit of some isopropyl and some cleaners, and just kind of cleaned up the outside. I had to glue on the outside CD tray because that wasn't staying on. It was just falling right off. And that's pretty normal for those older consoles. But for the most part, the system booted right up and played a game without me having to do any cleaning or adjustment to it at all right out of the box, which was pretty awesome. Now, I did order more games from Goodwill Finds and goodwillbooks.com, and I was very happy with both. Now, I will go back to both websites for sure, but particularly if I want to buy more games, I'm going to go to goodwillbooks.com. The games were cheaper, and they gave you more options on are you going to get like the full disc jacket and the manual that came with the game, and what quality is the disc all scratched up, or is it playable, stuff like that. So those options were on the goodwillbooks.com, but they were not on goodwillfinds.com. Now again, they don't have every game or every book you're going to want on goodwillfinds.com, so you might have to use their sister websites to find those other items, and they're probably going to be a lot more expensive too, but that might just be because they're a rarity. So overall, I spent about just under $120, and I got 8 games, 1 system, 2 remotes, 1 system remote for like playing DVDs and stuff, 2 memory cards, and that's it. Everything works, plus all your cables and whatnot. And literally everything worked right out of the box. I did have to do a little cleanup on some discs. It just had fingerprints and smudges and stuff on them, but overall it really, really wasn't bad, and it was a great experience. Everything showed up on time in the mail. Nothing came all damaged or squished up or anything, so that was really awesome. Now, I strongly suggest checking these items out. If you've got a big ticket item on your list that you've just been waiting to buy because it's super expensive, check out one of these Goodwill sites. You might honestly be able to find it in brand new condition for half what you were going to pay it for at Home Depot or something like that. So definitely give these websites a try. I've been trying to expand my retro video game collection for some time, and just always struggled with finding either partially working machines or just really high price tags, and this is a great in between. So thank you, Goodwill, and thank you for helping our community by supporting these Goodwill websites. If you have used any of these sites in the past, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think about them, how they compare to eBay. Are you going to use them again, or just continuously use eBay, or maybe you're just going to go to your local store? That's fine too. So let me know what you guys do down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. Again, my name is Will. I hope you all learned something new. I know I did. I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, everybody. That was pretty good, except for my voice got all raspy. Let's try. Top Goodwill auction sites. Let me just start this whole section out. This is just went all over the board here and there. But overall, it's definitely it's definitely overall. Cool that they had that option. I might just start this whole section. So I have to use the first controller to do that. Oh, I expected it as some kind of error.